We're starting here with the 3rd Division, whose first group had beaten his on pole with Akai 2nd and Sersan 3rd. Sersan neatly goes down the inside to take 2nd, bit of a bump there, and Akai lost more positions to Infinite and Playlister. Those two had it out between them in front, and just a little way behind there was a bit of a billiard ball bouncing between Bizzle, RL20 and Stag, but no harm done. Playlister was struggling to hold off Infinite and Akai, and before long he was down into the midfield battling with Stag and Mr. Person. And at the beginning of lap 3 there was a nasty incident involving Mr. Person and RL20, and so the ERS co-founder had his work cut out for him. Up ahead, Akai was outrunning Infinite on the long home straight with his beefy Ford Mustang, and he soon caught up with Sersan in the Jaguar, who must have been feeling immense pressure. Once again, Akai used his car's straight line power to beat his opponent into turn 1, and now Sersan was challenged by Infinite right behind him. On the lap following, Akai was getting away, and Sersan was making small mistakes, enough for Infinite to get a good line cut across to the inside of the turn 6 hairpin and steal 3rd place. Sersan wore out his tyres trying to pursue and pitted early. Further back, an interesting bit of aggressive driving from Bizzle, dramatically skidding past Drunken Ninja to overtake. Nice move, but rough on the tyres. Beatitors came in on lap 10 with a healthy lead, gambling on a conservative 2nd stint. Akai took the lead, but was it enough? He also had to pit, of course, and did so at the end of that following lap, but emerged with little hope of catching the Portuguese race leader. Still yet to pit again on his 2-stop strategy, Sersan picked a fight with Infinite, and then having pitted, somewhat more justifiably locked horns with Stag, who unsurprisingly had an advantage there. Nevertheless, he persisted, and managed to pull it off the following lap. On lap 19, he lost grip around the deceptively shaped turn 15, and went off, and remarkably so did Stag, thus resetting their duel. On the penultimate lap, they again went side by side into the first corner, this time with gritty consequences for Sersan. By a long stretch, Beatitis was the winner. Akai fought well for 2nd place, and it was Infinite who came 3rd. But, oh, what is it now? Sersan had made a reckless and audacious move at turn 12, where overtaking is usually unthinkable. Somehow manages not to hit Stag, which would make it overtake of the year, except they both went off anyway. Still, credit to Sersan, who took the position and placed 4th. The 2nd group in Division 3 had a few absences, but they made up for it with chaotic fervour. 3 wide into turn 1, Prozac and NJF both bumped off into the gravel, with NJF only just managing to keep it together. RVE managed to run away with a short lead. A 5-way battle for 2nd just behind, with Little Mac, NJF, VC Most, Barbosa and Benop. Barbosa was making mistakes, Little Mac fell back, and they clashed at the hairpin. Barbosa got nervous about VC Most and went off again, being knocked about as he tried to re-enter. All this chaos was exactly what RVE and NJF needed to get away from the pack. Little Mac lost ground fighting among the backmarkers until he lost it around turn 15, although he did save himself from an extended trip through the gravel. Benop looked like he was ready to pounce on VC Most, but was so eager that he braked far too late and went to mow the grass. When RVE took a grand sweeping line for turn 18, NJF went straight down the inside. RVE was forced to back down. That's a perfect example of why a defending driver needs to change his line to discourage attackers. RVE was the first of them to pit, emerging just as VC Most sailed past. Untimely, as he needed to gain as much ground as possible on NJF before his pit stop on the following lap. Once NJF made that pit stop, and there's Barbosa crashing his way in, RVE had NJF in his sights, but that wasn't nearly enough. A daring pass, excellent driving, and a critical undercut, NJF crossed the line to win. RVE came in 2nd, with Prozac not too far behind. Moving up to Division 2, the field fanned out, with Lamb holding the inside. Gui slipped in behind, with Single Filer just beating Lewis to the apex, and then holding the inside around the hairpin to snatch 2nd place, although both he and Gui had a close shave with the grass verge on the next left-hander. Lewis took the initiative and hooked around the inside of turn 18, just managing to get ahead in time for the home straight. On lap 2, single filer entered the pits as he had to go and never came out again. In the midfield, Tokyo really misjudged turn 1 and went wide, a perfect opportunity for Mop Racer to come right in and slip past. Mop's ambitions weren't quenched just yet, and for the next 2 laps he doggedly pursued Gui until he got a very similar opportunity at turn 1 and grabbed it with both hands. The 2 Jags went side by side to a right-hander where Mop had the advantage. He got clean away, and on the following lap Gui slipped up and Tokyo was just able to secure 5th. Gui and his teammate Fernando were hot on his tail, but would never pass him thereafter. Lewis had some problems and had to pay off a penalty for what GT Sport thinks is a shortcut, so Bruno handily got past. What can you do, eh? Lamb stopped for fresh tyres well ahead of the competition, and on lap 11 and following that mid-race round of pit stops, the battle of note was between Lewis and Mop. Right at the start of lap 17, Mop overtook and set his sights on Bruno. A lap later, he beautifully cruised right past him. Lamb won by a third of a lap, with Mop holding his second position and Bruno coming third. So this is it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Division 1. After round 2, Darkrai, Nova and Hueso established themselves as the ones to watch, and here in the first corner, Hueso initiated a close-fought battle for second. Tusho had a look up the inside of Fives, and further back, Babbles was up against his Madalik. He found himself going all the way around the outside and picked up dirt on the exit of turn 3 and dropped back to 11th position. Bolgenord's Storm had a scary moment around the turn 6 hairpin and also lost some ground. Out in front, Nova was leading, Darkrai had regained second place, Hueso third, then Holman, Fives, Tusho, DJ. The latter struggled and fell behind his Madalik, going off the track and seeming to have trouble with the car or the course. In close pursuit of Storm, DJ got much too close and punted the Frenchman off, earning himself a penalty. Storm recovered, but had it all to play for, with a tough field of competitors to claw through, but saw hope when Dr. LJ reverted to type, cruising into the grass verge at turn 15. Out ahead, Hueso was turning up the heat on Darkrai. It looked like he'd have the Phoenix driver on lap 9, but ducked into the pits early for an undercut. All the while, a 3-way battle for 5th was developing between Fives, Tusho and his Madalik. The latter hung back, while Tusho and Fives traded places now and again. Nova and Darkrai got out of the pits, and Hueso's undercut seemed to be paying off. He swept past both drivers to take the lead, although on the same lap he allowed his teammate, the reigning champion Nova, to go past. Darkrai saw it as an opportunity to slip by as well. He didn't pull it off immediately, but the distracted Hueso faltered, and that was enough. They were back in their starting order for now. Babbles was having a difficult time of it near the back of the field. He'd been promoted to Division 1 in unusual circumstances, and at first seemed outclassed. But he fought back, made mistakes, serious ones, but kept on fighting. Speaking of fighting, Tusho, Fives and his Madalik were just as close as ever on lap 15. It was anyone's guess which one of them would win out. Storm, meanwhile, was making gains on Judoka, with Barrels close behind, all near the back of the field. Storm looked to be in top form in spite of earlier incidents, and a pressured Judoka dashed in for a second pit stop. Now Storm's just had Barrels to worry about. Lap after lap, they were as close as sardines, with a little light contact now and then, and at the turn 11 hairpin, Babbles went for it. Not the cleanest pass, and Storm got the better run to turn 12 and snatched the position back. Toward the end of the race, Darkrai was getting desperate to overtake Nova, and was making mistakes. One of them was big enough to cause a spin, and Hueso must have had one hell of a smile on his face then. In solidarity, Fives crashed there also, and dropped to 7th place. After a long fight, and with less than 2 laps remaining, Barrels nipped down the inside of Storm and kept it together, proving his Division 1 credentials. But the hero of the day was Nova, VLX scoring a 1-2 victory. to be joined on the podium by Dark Rye. The current situation, midway through the championship, is as follows. Dark Rye is ahead, but Nova is catching up, aided by his Australian teammate Huezo. There is close competition between Ismadalik, Storm, Dr. LJ and Holman. Unfortunately, Judoka has dropped out of the running, as has Single Filer. Even so, Lamb seems to be chomping at the bit in the lead of Division 2, with Mop, Tokyo and Fernando competing for second in that category. A lot of Portuguese drivers in this division now, almost all represented by Ultimate Fusion Team and One Racing Esports. Some new as well as familiar faces in the third division, and it's certainly close. With some talented drivers here, we can certainly expect to see more daring do from these gentlemen, perhaps as soon as the following round, as eSGT heads to the Isle of Sardinia, Italy. We can't wait. Take care, everyone.